Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Women of Arabia. Women of Arabia is a platform where we showcase the best women entrepreneurs and of course women from all walks of life who with their sheer determination, passion and hard work, they have carved a niche for themselves and have created a dream into reality. And today, in conversation with us, is a beautiful lady. She is the founder of Elis Books.
Yes.
Yes. So what's Eli's Books?
Yes.
So what is Eli?
So
Who is Eli, rather?
Yes, short for Elijah. That's
Okay.
my soon-to-be 4-year-old son.
Oh.
And he's the one after whom the brand is named.
So he's the story behind.
He's the story behind the brand, yes.
Oh, that's sweet. So tell us the story. What's the story?
So when I was in my latter months of pregnancy, I was in the mall looking for things for the baby, as you do, especially the first baby gets everything.
Everything. And the second baby?
Nothing.
I know my younger one's not watching.
Well, mine is a girl, so lucky for her. She got a few hands. Everything had to be new again for her.
Oh, lucky her.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I was in the mall looking for things to buy for him, and specifically footwear.
Yeah.
And I realized that pretty much every shoe I picked up was quite hardly constructed. So similarly, should we say mini adult shoes?
Right.
So we're talking about hard soles, enclosed, not breathable fabrics.
Right.
And I remember thinking, well, that's not right. You know, a baby doesn't actually have bones in its feet. So why these shoes so, hard to maneuver around? So that put me on this path of research, and I started looking into the construction of a baby's foot, so to speak.
Okay.
The structure of it, how they're made, and then the shoes that are out there, and quality of material and all of that, and especially leather. So it started a grand affair with leather that spanned 3 years now. I'm absolutely obsessed with leather, and that's reflected in the leather that we use. We use only vegetable tan leather, and
what does that mean?
Vegetable tan leather is basically the leather was colored using vegetables and fruits.
Oh, okay.
All right. So none of the chemicals, no chrome. Okay. It takes a very, very long time to tan and to color it. Okay. Believe it or not, there's so many scopes of colors, but actually at the base of it is natural products. So they're toxic free, and it takes about 6 weeks to actually color the leather, because it takes a long time to seep into it, versus a chrome tan, which takes a lot longer with a chemical mix.
And you do all that here?
No, the leather's already bought that way, but from the best tanneries. So we have the camel leather and we have the Napa leather, which is sheep leather, and that comes from France, and the camel comes from the region. So two of the best tanneries is where we source our leather, and they're made here. They're made the cutting by myself more often, and we have our own cobbler. So we work just the two of us.
And what about the designs, the small designs that you actually come
so
out
the
with?
designs, some of the designs come for the beginning of the company, and I have to say I've been lucky along the journey. I've had some amazing people helping along the way. So some of the earlier designs where I was having them made, which wasn't in my own studio, I had a lovely girl helping me along the way, and she was able to tell me this is how the construction works and teach me, because I was new to making, so to speak. And now that I have my own, should I say, co-work, so to speak, because he's so integral to the company. So my colleague and I, we work together. So I'll have an idea, and I'm a really bad drawer, so I'll draw it out, and then we'll construct together, and then the babies are the testers. So my daughter, more often than not, sometimes she goes to school with mismatched shoes because she won't take them off after she's tested them. So together we come up with not just design, but also functionality and colors. And sometimes he'll make a shoe and he'll be like, you know what, I thought about these two leathers. I'm like, I wouldn't have thought about that. But then again, I always think when you hire someone, you don't hire them to tell them what to do. You hire them because of their expertise, and he's amazing. So we're a good team.
And so when you say design, you design some of the
so I'll design, I would say, for example, we need a girl's shoe. I want it to have a bow, and then I'll draw it out, and then we'll do the first sample, and then we'll say, okay, fine. For example, this is a perfect example. This shoe and this shoe. The front is slightly different. The build and the cut. It started out as this and finished as that. So we play around a little bit and try to get it right until we get that perfect design.
And so are you a designer? Is that your background?
No, I'm a lawyer. I'm a corporate lawyer, yes.
Okay.
But I think we tend to be artistic bunches, us lawyers.
Lawyers are artistic?
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Please elaborate. How can lawyers be artistic?
We, I think, probably the most artistic bunch.
So. Are you sure? You're articulate, for sure. But artistic.
I mean, a lot of my colleagues have gone on to do other things as well as law, and they've gone into different art,
Do you see that
you know,
as a
architecture. I think it's. I think
now?
we've always had it. I think traditionally, perhaps lawyers had to be kind of very letter of the law. But as the world of business is changing, we have to be business people as well. We have to understand what our clients want, and in understanding what our clients want, we can't just be us and legislature, or us and a piece of paper.
Right.
It's gone beyond that now, where people can actually go on a computer and, you know, write down the basic terms and draw out a document. We have to bring value, and with that, we have to think outside of the box. So, I mean, I'm UK qualified. Yeah, I think that's
talents probably comes out.
I think so. A lot of us have gone on to do separate things, and it's all in the arts. And actually, sometimes lawyers make the best CEOs.
Yeah, that I would give you that.
That thinking outside of the box that drives us.
That
is
I
what
would
really
for sure.
Does that for us. So that's my, should I say, that's my day job, even though I haven't been practicing for a year now.
Okay, so you've taken a break.
Yes, I've taken a break.
So you took a break after your younger one was born, basically.
She was born,
And how, so that now you're not in your corporate career.
Yes,
so how would you say you're a full-time entrepreneur? I wouldn't say mom, because you're
point.
clearly
That's a
not
good
just
one.
a mom.
That's a good one, yes.
Yes. we were actually toiling with words.
What should we call it? Because I said stay-at-home mom with the part-time job. You're like, no,
that's not who you are. So how different is it from your corporate life?
I have to say it definitely has its challenges. I mean, it's harder in that you don't time off, you don't clock off. You know, it's not that 9 to 7 or 9 to 9. It's 24 hours a day. And I'm ashamed to say that sometimes I go to bed more often than not, and it's the last thing I think about and the first thing I think about. It's a baby.
It's your love.
It's a child, and
guilty.
It's embarrassing to say that sometimes. But yeah, it's a lot harder, especially I think in generally running a business in this current market is difficult enough, and there are certain challenges that are specific to the UAE as well, and that small businesses like myself face, and you know, we drug through them and we struggle through them, and we hope to find success at the other side. So it is a tougher
because you can't cut off.
You can't cut off, absolutely, yes. And the rewards are not, no, they don't come at the end of the month. You don't get that nice salary saying well done, and you don't get the breaks.
You have to pat yourself.
You have to pat yourself, absolutely. Usually with 2 fingers, and not the full hand, because things are tough. But
and then you said things are a little difficult in this country in terms of setting up business. So how long have you been here, and is it UAE been your home for how long?
So about 5.5 years now.
Okay.
So I moved out here. So I was practicing in London, and my husband was in New York at Columbia, and then he had an opportunity to come here. So I'm in London. I'm working for my company. I'm working for my law firm, and he tables this opportunity. And I remember thinking, okay, I need to obviously ask around because London, New York. Why would I go anywhere else? It's far removed from Dubai. And I asked a lot of my peers, what would you do? And the majority said, no way, this is London. Are you crazy? Your career will literally, what's Dubai? You know, lawyer in Dubai, who's going to take you seriously? And then I spoke to a lot of the managing partners and the partners, and they had the opposite answer. They all said, we would go. If we could do it all over again, we would have jumped on an opportunity and gone. And I remember thinking,
that's
it's
amazing,
a very,
that contrast, right?
Absolutely.
They've seen the world.
They've seen, absolutely. They see whether it's worth it. And they've got, obviously, the monetary rewards. You know, if you're a general partner in a law firm in London, you do really well.
And sometimes you realize, and it's good that you got that kind of an advice from them, because sometimes you do realize that at the end of the day, it might not always be the monetary rewards.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's nice to see that perspective as well.
Absolutely. And I was very lucky that they gave it to me, because they said, you know what, and I saw it in them. They were very wealthy and they had the title and all of that, but not that they were miserable, that's absolutely right, but they were tired. They were really, really tired. And it went really well, because I also had an opportunity to work in Turkey. Again, as a lawyer, as corporate lawyer there for one of the leading law firms. And there it was very different to London. Like, the lawyers worked hard, but they partied just as hard. The kind of the balance of life that they felt they were owed was a lot stronger, So you'd have lawyers like riding Harleys and, taking calls in the toilet of a nightclub. And I'm like, wow, we do this? We lawyers? We're that exciting? We ride Harleys on the weekend? Okay, I like the sound of that. So from the very beginning of my career, I wanted to have that balance. I wanted to enjoy my life and as well as have the work. So when the opportunity came up and the partner said what they said, I said, okay, fine, I took it.
And do you feel like Dubai has given you that work-life balance as you had hoped?
Yes, absolutely.
Probably not like a Turkey. Definitely, because Dubai is definitely more fast-paced.
It is faster-paced. And also because, or should I say not like in Istanbul, because that's a world of its own. I look at some of my peers and they've gone beyond in terms of the career side of things, because obviously obviously I've had children and what have you, but I'm very, very happy with the balance.
Not just children, you've got
I've got this as well. I counted this in.
You've got a new baby.
When I said children, I counted Eli's
baby, right?
Yes.
This is your first
exactly.
baby. Oh, that's yes, because I don't think many of them can actually, they choreograph. It can grow up, and probably like your managing partner said, at one stage they might feel like, what have we done different in terms of what you have done? You have completely moved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like completely 180 degrees.
Yes.
If I can say that, because from corporate law to this. And were you scared when you decided to make that step? Because it's completely different. Like you said, you had to research about leather. You knew nothing about leather. You knew nothing about design. How scary was it to make that decision? But I know it stemmed up from a need that you saw was not available in the market.
Absolutely, yes.
But how scary was it? What were your challenges?
Initially, it really wasn't that scary because it was fun. It was fun to discover something different.
Excited like having a baby.
Absolutely, exactly. That until the reality hits you. And then you think, the pregnancy was the best bit. So it wasn't too scary at the beginning. It was challenging, definitely learning from scratch. It was overwhelming. And I'll always remember this. I remember having my first photo shoot in I think it was the Hamptons, and we got there with the shoes. We were super excited. We had the kids, and then we realized the shoes weren't properly constructed. Now, I was so new in the infancy of understanding how they work that we hadn't cut the stitch so we could actually pull open. So the shoes that were for the 4-year-olds, my 9-month-old was wearing. So you look at the picture, you don't realize, but the sizing was completely off, and we just had to make it work. And the website, which I did myself, when we launched the website, the products weren't actually finished. So, and then it became, the bespoke was a lot more highlighted because as the orders were made, we were making them at the side, and I wasn't making them in-house as well. So there was that lack of control. So all of that made it very, very difficult, but also exciting. It was a lot more exciting. I think as the business goes on and then you're faced with other issues, that's when you're like, this is actually harder. Those early days were actually the innocent days of what it means to run a business here as well. So,
but it's in terms of also having a homegrown product, we can say that. How do you think is the competitive market here? How do you think is the general mass appeal to something, here as opposed to the traditional branded products? What is the acceptance level like for?
I think that we have a long way to go towards appreciating kind of small home businesses, especially when it comes to the baby shoe market. I mean, I usually have to go and see my stockists and say, well, how are we doing? And how are the customers receiving the brand? And 9 times out of 10, it's like they like the brands they know. They like the big brands, whether they're made in China by the thousands versus something that is produced.
Breathable.
Absolutely. The quality especially is very important. So our leather, for example, is very breathable. So as the child wears it, especially the camel leather, it stretches. So you get a lot more wear out of it. So my daughter, for example, one of the shoes that we have, the Harley, she had that. She's been wearing that since I would say early August, late July. And I find every morning when she puts it on before she goes to nursery, I check the toe. And she always has extra space. Why? Because the leather is stretching and molding around her feet.
It's interesting because we always think that kids grow really fast before you can blink your eyes.
Absolutely.
So especially the shoe market, I've heard many people say, including me, we used to say that, there's no point in buying shoes. Let's get those the socks for them. For a really long time, we used to just adapt to socks. One, because of what you said, their bones are so soft that we wouldn't be comfortable making them wear the traditional things that's available in the market. But even otherwise, they grow out of it faster. And you're saying it's not the case.
It's not the case with that camel leather. Absolutely not. So I usually wear
like this.
So something like this is even open-toed, and it's made in a way whereby the chubbiness of the baby is taken into consideration. So usually a lot of them have a little bit of fat on the top. That
they do.
The size of the foot is tiny, but the chubbiness and the ankles are huge. So which I absolutely adore. So the quality of the leather is really, really important. A lot of the shoes that say leather, first of all, is it the right quality? Second of all, what is it lined with? Does it allow for stretching? So we have all these things that we take into consideration. How breathable is it? Like her shoes, she'll wear them and her feet never smell because the sweating just doesn't happen. And all these things.
Sweating
so the sweating doesn't happen. You get the little, she takes them out and I'm like kissing her feet and there's no funky smell, and it's a good quality leather.
Most of the times people say that it's because
they think leather and they think, oh no,
they say it's you, your body. Obviously it makes a lot of difference, but at the same time I've always said some people that no, it's also the shoe that
It's
matters.
a shoe, absolutely. It is the shoe. If it keeps it enclosed and it's not breathable, then obviously your feet are going to suffer as a result. Right. So that's what I love about, the attention to detail that small brands bring to their businesses. Right. And that's what I think we could learn a little bit more in appreciating here. True. Appreciating the handmade quality of it. Per day, we can only make 4. Okay. And if we go for the older shoes, for example, that have a sole, sometimes we can only make 2. So it's a small operation, but it's the care that's afforded to it.
Yeah, it's the thought, the care.
And we've moved away from that. Yeah. Now, I think maybe in our grandparents' age, everything was made by hand.
Definitely,
you know, and it had to last.
Yes.
And then we went to the world where, you can buy 3 or 4 shoes for $20 and throw them away. Yeah. So people want instant gratification, and that has its upside, but it also has its downside.
For sure.
And I thought, for example, my collection of shoes, when I spend money on a pair of shoes, I expect it to last. I'm highly demanding of that shoe. So why would I, reduce for my children? I should be even more caring.
True. And do you think that conscious change is happening across the world, where people are trying to, because there are lots of places that it is happening across the world.
Absolutely.
Do you think Dubai is slowly getting there, or UAE?
I think UAE probably has a bit of a longer way to go, because I think when I look at the leather market and the handmade market, I mean, obviously you have England, that's other 4. The US very good with making things by hand. South Korea, we're talking about Asian market, Japan, they love it. And when it's made at home and it's made by someone, they will pay a premium for that, because for them it's the quality, it's uniqueness. Whereas with us here, I think we're still brand conscious. We care about the brand more than anything else. So, but I also hear of steps being taken to change that. Yes. Actually, getting the buying population to care about the quality, to say, actually, I've handed over my hard-earned cash. What am I getting in return? And question those brands and query it. And as that goes on, I hear that there's a conscious decision to go towards that direction. You'll find that maybe people will care more about small businesses like ours.
And isn't it frustrating? Have you felt it was frustrating that here you are, obviously you have a product that is 100%, let's say, cruelty-free, breathable, the best, lots of thought process has been gone into it, and care and love and everything. Yes. And yet, you people are prefer the other one. Why do you think that is? Is it just the money aspect or the education?
I think it's a level of education, and for small brands like myself, marketing. So this takes into the challenges of what it means to run a business here. The cost of licensing. Yes. They're huge for businesses like myself. They're very, very big. Obviously, then you have what it takes to actually have an employee, and that's a given. Yeah. There are upsides to it, and the upside is, again, the employee side of things. You can actually bring someone in, work well together, and have that cohesiveness. But the downside is the yearly fees. For a small business like myself, it's a huge amount, and it puts you on the back foot before you've even sold the first shoe. I know. And it really is something that I hope that can be thought about,
lots of things are changing.
Things can be taken into consideration, because I think the Dubai allows us we have a great untapped resource. Yes. And these are women like myself, women who have careers, or perhaps things have slowed down in the career lane, but your brain is still there, your ambition is still there, and your selling abilities are still there. And these women, if they were to all go out there and start entrepreneurship,
tap on that.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's really, really big. And I think that perhaps people obsess over big business, but you're forgetting about the grassroots. And I think that there has to be maybe some rethinking of those costs, because there are some people doing amazing things out there, but they're struggling.
They're not able to,
they're struggling. By the time you pay for your license, where is your marketing budget? It doesn't exist. And that's what my business faces, for example. Marketing is tougher, because also it needs an injection of cash.
Lots of cash in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely right. Yeah. So have you ever thought about expanding to, let's say, the markets which are a little bit more open about homegrown products and natural organic products?
I would love to. Well, I love being in Dubai. I love being in Dubai. I think, Dubai is, especially being a mother, I appreciate it that much more.
True.
Nowhere on earth is perfect. That's very true.
True.
But you're here and it's family orientated. It's really family orientated. I always say Dubai gives you the best of both worlds. It gives you if you want first world, or what we term first world infrastructure and ease of life and all that type of stuff. But it gives you also that more traditional aspect of family, family life and an appreciation for children.
Yeah.
When I go back to London, I'm always paranoid who my kids are going to piss off by, making too much noise. Whereas where I'm here, I can attend the same cafes, go to the same places, see the same smiley faces, and know that my children are perhaps
more tolerated. Right? Yes.
So I do love, obviously, the weather. I mean, it's lovely.
Yes.
Let's face it, it's warm weather. It gets a bit hot, but it's still manageable. So for me, it's home. I think people are more open in warm weather and also even these ideas and these businesses. I think when I think about the trends back home in London, I think yes, new businesses are being supported, and it's an ongoing trend. When I was there, it was very much in its infancy. Now there are actual governments and at local level supports for small businesses. So they're going through their journey right now of appreciating small businesses more so than when I was there. And here it's a different facet. Maybe the support isn't as constant, but it's there.
It's there. And
it allowed this to happen. Eventually. Let's face it, it allowed this to happen. Perhaps earlier than I would have done it in London.
Yeah.
So you have your pros and cons, but I can't imagine moving my operation. No, I'm looking for stockists, back home, and and that brings into context, like I said, when you spend so much money on your license, you don't have much money to attend trade shows and to go to Paris and to go to Tokyo, and these are where the brands go to get their brands known.
Is that where you see yourself?
That's where I would love to go. Okay. That's where I would love to go, and that's where I think that balance of maybe going back to work, and that's all the different aspects of running a business as a woman here. I have to go back to work so I can actually generate money to inject in the business.
So you would want to go back to work?
Yeah, I would want to, and I'd have to, absolutely.
Is it?
Just to afford the license cost alone.
But you would definitely, do you think, now that you've enjoyed this just pure entrepreneurship, do you really think that you would be? You do miss your corporate life.
I do miss my corporate life. And I think that,
Is it the structure that you miss? Or
I miss the structure. I like to be kept. I want to be part of it. I don't want to ever say Low's over.
Yeah.
I always want to keep on the peripheral. I always want to have my finger in that pie, so
do you think somewhere, let's say about 10 years, and your business is doing extremely well, do you still think that? Yeah?
Yes.
I really amazing.
Would. Absolutely.
Superwoman right here.
No, I wish. I love,
most people say that now.
Oh, no. If it does really, really, really well, it would afford me to perhaps bring more people in my team.
Right.
But I never want to lose that low side of things. I generally enjoy it. I think it helps me tremendously in this business. And it's an exciting field in and of itself. So working in-house would be a solution. If I could work in-house and flexible hours, which don't really exist right now. That's another issue.
Yes, of course. But
flexible, you never know. And I think, I have this one friend that has a perfect job. Okay. The hours are flexible. It's been 3 years. And, she, recruiters come to her with more money. And she's like, nope. This is priceless. And I think that's what businesses need to understand, especially, like I said, these great untapped resources, which are career women who are now mothers,
True.
We were here, our skill set is there, it's not diminished.
Exactly.
So we're there and we're ripe for the picking, whether it be for part-time work or working from home. Right. And I feel like there's nothing to fear. When you work from home, you work twice as hard because you now have to prove that you are.
I've got that problem when people say, "Oh, you're working from home. That's fine."
The stress is
the
much
worst
worse.
thing ever. You don't know when to cut off. You feel guilty all the time that you're not giving enough work.
Yeah.
And
every minute you can stretch is a work time.
Exactly.
Whereas when you're in the office, it can happen where you're like,
And again, the mindset, isn't it? Because if there are many people I know who can just, even in the office, they can just go for their break.
10 breaks a day.
They'll feel absolutely fine about that. Yes. But when we're at home and we're working, we feel guilty about taking that 1 minute.
And that's what it is. And I think I'm hoping that, again, that side of thing changes because you say it's a superwoman thing, but you do it as well. We can do it.
We can.
And like I said, if the business was to do really well, that's an opportunity to bring in experts, to bring in people who do this for us a daily for them. And then for me to do the best of both worlds, which is the idea and continue my love affair with the leather, but actually do law as well. And I've done it. I've done it for 2 years. And yes, it was hard, but it wasn't unmanageable.
Yeah, it was rewarding.
It was rewarding. So for me, the practicality is, yes, you could do it with an injection of cash. Where can I do that? Well, I have to go back to work for that, and that's a core reality.
Why not, right?
But why not? Yeah. It's something that I love doing as well. So,
have you felt while you were setting up your business, and of course the past 3 years that you were running it, being a woman in this part of the world or any part of the world, but since we're here, let's just focus on, has in any way either it's been challenging or it's been rewarding? Like it's helped or it hasn't helped being a woman in this market trying to set up?
Absolutely. I would say a bit of both, and this is very specific to my experience.
Right.
Okay, so for example, in terms of the networking, and I'm not a big networker, so I should rephrase that. In terms of the women supporting other women, it's amazing. Dubai is chock full of experts.
Yes,
it's chock full of experts. Like I'll have a friend over, and I'll tell her I'm having this dilemma, and she's a housewife, but she would deconstruct it for me and give me amazing ideas for my business. I'm like, people pay for that.
Yeah, I know
people pay premium for this.
True.
And she should be allowed to, again, have a small business so she can support small businesses while calling herself a quote-unquote housewife.
Yes.
So I've had exposure to this amazing group of women with amazing ideas and amazing support, and I'm forever thankful of that. And I think it's specific to Dubai. Maybe it's the weather. We're more social. And because we're more social, we spend more time with the people we want to spend time with. And in doing so, we come up with great ideas. You know, maybe if I was in London by the time I was done with the office, it's 5 p.m., the sun is down, I want to go home.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so there'll be other challenges there. So, yes, as a woman, it's definitely empowered me in that way. And for me specifically, and I have to specify just for me, it's been challenging in that sometimes I've had to deal with men from different cultures who perhaps don't respond so well to women telling them what to do.
Exactly.
And that's a course reality. It took me a year to find the cover that I found. A full year. And that was
would that have happened in London or in New York?
Do you think so?
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think because there it's a lot more transactional. You know, this is what I want, this is what I want. Let's make it work. You know, people come with perhaps more equality and balance of the relationship, so it would have been a lot more straightforward. Or maybe I wouldn't have even done it in-house. I probably would have let someone else deal with it and outsourced it, and that would have been that. So, whereas here, the bespoke part of the business is what I'm in love with. I could send the shoes and have them made in China. I could send the shoes and have them made in Turkey. I could even send them and have them made in Spain. But right now, I like being able to wake up with a dream and have it a reality. 2 days down the line.
Okay.
And that's the core reality. I think of something, it happens. So I love that aspect of it. And
you sure you don't have these for adults?
Not yet, but we're working towards it.
All right.
We keep
what is the age range so far?
We start from newborn up until age 4. And now for the bespoke, we can go beyond that. We can go to 6 or 7.
Okay.
But then because of the low kind of the low numbers that we produce, it's only as we're asked that we will make those shoes.
Okay.
And we have a myriad of, I think we have over 100 different leather colors. So if someone says, okay, I've got this outfit, but I don't know, can you have this shoe in, I don't know, fluorescent yellow? I can pull that out just for that person. So that control of things is really what I enjoy the most. And and that's what makes the business unique. Hard, but unique.
Yes. And when your kids wear them to school, what are the kind of responses you do get?
My daughter has
that would be your best marketing, right?
She is, but I'm still, we're just discussing that Instagram live, weren't we? Of opening yourself up fully. And I think we're old school.
I know what you mean.
We are old
really
school.
Old school. Yes.
It still feels like there's a privacy to your life that should be afforded. So, mashallah, I've got beautiful kids. And
I know.
I have to say, if I were to showcase them more often, probably I'd have a bigger following and what have you. But, it's just not what I'm feeling comfortable with right now, And
it would change for sure. And we have to adapt. Like
we have to adapt, absolutely.
From a complete corporate career into this. So, of course, we adapt. And that's another thing about us women. We do learn to adapt as things go by, and it can be hard at times. We might have those frustrating moments, but then at the end of the day, we do adapt, right?
Absolutely.
And what would you suggest, like as some kind of an advice for those women who actually, like yourself, for instance, you were in corporate life, law for the good part of your life, till
Yes.
about three years back. And all of a sudden, you're doing something completely different. And women actually look at it with lots of fear,
Yeah. Oh,
because
God.
it's more of an inner turmoil, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
What would be
Do
your
it.
advice? Do it.
My number one advice is do it. I'll tell you why. So
Okay.
a few years ago when I was still in London, I remember I started out, the natural hair movement was a big thing. It was in its infancy, well, maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Five, 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
It was growing, it was gaining traction, and I could have had an opportunity to have a skincare or a hair care. I could have done that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been a bit of an apothecarist. That's my other passion, as if I don't have enough. But I love
Really?
mixing. Yes. Oh, I've got a little hidden cupboard. It's full of oils, full of shea butter. And our moisturizers are mixed by hand, and I don't know if I should say this. I don't know if I should say this, but there was a time when excess breast milk was soap.
Yes.
So I used to turn my breast milk. I used to turn my breast milk into soap for the children, and so I've always been in a mode with making things and all of that type of stuff. And I had an opportunity to start something then, but I was so afraid. I wanted to have everything.
And how many years
perfect.
back was it?
We're talking maybe 7 years back.
And you didn't have your kids then.
I didn't have my
to
kids.
think
I
about
had
all those things,
nothing. I had my income.
No.
It was just for me, and I wasn't even married, and it was perfect.
It was just
But the fear was just immense, and this has to be perfect, and that has to be perfect. And it was an extreme seeking perfection that kind of, in the end, dilapidated
But
me.
is that just women? Do you think women think and fear more?
I think so. I think
we think about everything that has to
every
be thought
aspect
about.
of it. And also because we give ourselves a lot more. So we're talking about skincare. We're talking about about organic skincare. I don't want to compromise. Okay, so how do I make sure that the product doesn't go off? Until I have that perfect ingredient, I can't launch it. And whereas other people would say, okay, you know what, just launch this, just launch that. And it was that weight control that meant that I wasn't able to. And I look back and I think, well, actually, I would have been one of the first. At the time there was one company,
7 years.
Carol's daughter. Now there are a huge amount of them. And it's crazy. So when I had this chance to do this, I just started. So that's what I meant when at the photo shoot, going back to the photo shoot, we didn't have the perfect product.
Right.
We didn't have the end product, but we had a website, we had a photo shoot, and we were launched.
And what changed between that time when you had no fears, no cares of the world, and you were about to have your child, and you knew that, of course, we'll never know, but then, the thing is, we'll never know what motherhood is, and the stress that comes with it. But of course, you were about to have your child, responsibilities are going to be tenfold. But how come what changed that you decided to make that decision?
Honestly, I remember that feeling of being able to do anything. And I'm sure that's a feeling that most mothers have. You feel a lot more empowered to just get things done. And that was before the baby even came. So, and also there was that lesson that I had, that, I had a chance to start something 7 years earlier.
And I overthought it. Always think that I should have.
No, because I think I'm in the right space, and I think there's a way for Elis Boost to incorporate that love. And because I'm obsessed with everything to do with children, so there's a space for growth in organic skincare for babies. There are a lot of traditions that we have in Africa, similar to India, when it comes to massaging babies, skincare, here, that lend themselves very well to some of the natural ingredients that you can source. So it can find its way in. But I think that fear and that lesson was what just pushed me. And that's the advice I give everyone. Just start. Even if every piece you sell has been ordered, just start. You have nothing to lose. Get that website up and running. Take those pictures, talk about it. And you will worry about the production later. That comes later. That's what I did with this. I just started. Just jumped in. I just jumped.
We'll figure everything out.
We'll figure out as we go along, and it's been a lesson.
Spoken like a corporate lawyer.
Honestly, it's been a lesson. I tell you now, we are learning every time, and we're getting feedbacks from our moms. And I remember some of the time, some of my moms they're my business partners. The latest shoe, for example, this shoe, which is Mimi. I remember I was at the neighbor's house, and I kept on saying, I want to do a girl's shoes. I want to do a girl's shoes, but I want something different. So every design that I make has to be different.
True.
So when I think about the idea, and I would sleep on it, sometimes it would take me months. And I wanted a girly design. It's been months, but what do I do? I feel like everything's being done. And I know I wanted to have this structure, but then where do I go from there? And we're having tea in what I call our unofficial majlis. We have a little gathering. And her husband's like, oh, let me sketch something for you. What do you want? I'm like, I think this. And he sketched an idea. I'm like, Rashid, you genius.
I know.
And then from then it incorporated. And now I call the show after his daughter because in his infancy, he helped me to crystallize my idea. So it's called Mimi after his princess.
That's
So the parents are part of my journey.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm trying to say. The parents, because we move on, we evolve, we amalgamate, they have to be part of our journey.
Of course, yes, yeah. Especially in your line of business where
communication is key with the parents. So,
true.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said natural oils, natural products. And what about shoes? When did this love affair with shoes start? Of course, we're women.
Yes, we always have, but there are certain things I remember. I'm going to take you a little bit further back to when I was maybe 9 or 10 years old. I remember that it was the night before the first day of school, and my mom had bought some new shoes. You know those big chunky heeled black shoes, the ones used to like
the school shoes.
The school shoes.
Yes.
And I remember waking up in the middle of the night to put them on, maybe 1 or 2 a.m. and just put my shoes on and prance around the room. That was the first thing that I remember about my obsession with shoes. And then I remember at university, I found a pair of YSL green alligator, the most beautiful shade of green alligator. I can still visualize them in my head, and I was desperate for them, but obviously I'm a student. I can't afford them. So then I found a way to get a job at Selfridges. I got a job at Selfridges so I could get the staff discount, so I could buy those shoes.
Oh my goodness.
And then I got
them together?
Absolutely. I got the job maybe a month down the line, and the shoes were gone. They were gone. They were in Selfridges, Manchester, London, Liverpool. They were gone. And it's been my biggest regret. To this day, these shoes are my biggest regret.
You know what you can do? You can actually
make
them.
Yes, I can make them.
That could be you moving into the adult footwear range. And I'm going to be one of your
actually, look at that. That's what I mean about the moms coming up with ideas. I've actually never thought of making it myself.
Think about that, the green alligator one.
That would be amazing.
And I'm sure it's still there in your mind, right?
It is still there. It's the biggest regret. Biggest regret. My biggest memory about my obsession with footwear.
So now it all ties up.
You know, I'm going to have to tag you in when I do that shoot.
You should actually. So, since you are in anything to do with fashion and looking good and gorgeousness that you are, all right, some fun questions, okay? Just to know the kind of person you are.
Okay.
Right, let's go. Casual or elegant?
Elegant. All the time. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Absolutely. Every single time.
Even if it's a pain?
Every single time. If it's casual, then it's a bad day. I woke up late. Or I'm the mom.
Yes.
But in an ideal world, it's always elegant.
So comfortable or tight?
Tight. You need to aspire to something.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something which will be very interesting. Local shops or malls?
Local shops.
There you go.
I love my boutique. Again, because of the exclusivity. That ties in with elegance.
High heels or flats?
High heels all the time. I don't understand flats.
You don't understand flats?
I don't understand flats. I trip up more on flats. And that's another thing about being a mother that I struggle with. I can't wear high heels anymore. I struggle with that.
I know. How the heck can you trip
I cannot wait until they're old enough so I can run in heels.
I can't believe that you would trip in flats. Okay. Skirts or pants?
Skirts.
Really?
Yes. Of course. Far more comfortable.
I can, with your high heels, I can definitely.
More comfortable.
Yes.
Really. Skipping and everything. Everything's easier in high heels and skirt.
Jewelry or no jewelry?
It's a tough one, a bit of both. As Coco Chanel said, if you leave the house, you have to remove one piece. You can't have everything.
I know. So last thing, where's your going away mirror? You need to have
look in the mirror and remove something.
Take it off.
So it's an in-between.
Pretty or boho?
Pretty girl.
Yeah?
You can be prettily boho these days.
You can actually. All right. Scarf or rings?
Scarves,
really?
Especially
That's
if you have
the
a good collection.
London in
scarves,
you,
absolutely.
London in you, that speaks. Because I don't think many people do prefer scarves here.
In a nice collection of Le Carré. You can never have to win. Please.
Rihanna or Kim?
Rihanna, come on. Navy fan here. Yes, Rihanna.
All right. Shopping or exercising?
Shopping
Good
is
one.
exercise.
It's exercise. You're right. Trendy or professional?
I'm a professional type of girl.
Yeah, that's the corporate life for you.
Yeah.
I've got something really, really, really tough for you. I don't think you can answer this.
Wow.
Leather or color?
That's a tough one. Leather or color in clothing?
In anything. You can probably leather or color.
I'd have to say leather. Because it
Obviously.
can adorn you and you
you're
wear
the
it in your
leather.
jacket, and that little black leather jacket.
That's it.
Can't beat it.
Right?
Yeah.
See, I knew she would do it. Blazer or denim?
Blazer.
Blazer?
Denim, really? Is it the 80s?
Again, you never know.
Blazer.
You are such a girly girl.
Over the shoulders. Don't even put your hand through. Just have it draped over your shoulders.
Oi. Sweatpants or funky pants?
Come on, neither. Why would you
have to choose
no.
one.
Sweatpants is a no-no.
Mom pants. You are a mother now.
No, I'm still fighting that. I am still trying to squeeze in.
Lace up or black?
Or black?
Yes. Boots.
Oh, definitely boots.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You would say so.
I miss London for that.
Oh, yeah.
A good pair of boots in your wardrobe is always...
That's it.
Yeah.
So, classic or detailed?
That's a difficult one. What
I
do you
know.
mean? I'm going to go for detailed, if only because it can be classic. I guess you're picking and choosing when you say detailed, right? Because classic can't be boring either. So I'd say detailed.
Detailed. Hat or cap? Either?
I don't wear either of the two, but I have to say hat because, cap is a no. Outside of a sports stadium, why? No.
Classic or fashionable?
Classic. You can't go
Yeah,
wrong.
you can't go there. Button down or collar? Shirts.
I don't wear enough because I usually wear dresses.
Okay. Trendy or eclectic?
Oh, yeah, eclectic.
Eclectic?
Yeah.
Athletic or bespoke?
Bespoke all the way. All the way.
Well, let's say colors. Grey or black?
Grey. Anything but black.
Anything but black?
Anything but black, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's...
I know I'm wearing black pants, but that's purely for the camera. Purely. I very rarely wear black.
Is it? Okay. Shoes or bag?
Shoes.
Really?
I don't understand how people... When you put a good pair of shoes on, the way you stand, the way you sit, everything changes. What's the bag? It just destabilizes you. So you have to have equal yoke on the other arm. Shoes all the way.
Are you
Absolutely.
kidding me?
Absolutely. Shoes
You
all the
can
way.
do shoes and bag.
I think that's cheating. I don't trust people who say shoes and bag. What is that? Choose one and stick to it. No,
So you're a shoe
shoes.
person.
150%.
Well, it clearly shows. Right?
The higher the heel as well. Keeps you grounded, keeps you adroit, keeps you focused. You try not to fall, right? So you're very focused.
But anyway, it was a pleasure being with you. Thank you so much.
Oh my, thank you so very much.
I just hope and wish that, first of all, I hope and wish that you quickly start manufacturing and producing stuff for adults. Wish you all the best and you grow your wonderful little home business.
Yes.
And I see you in the bigger markets.
That'd be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
Across the world too.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for telling us your journey and taking us through a glimpse of your life.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure being with you.
Pleasure is all mine. Really. Thank you.